What's up, YouTube? It's me, the artisanmc, and today I'm going to review for you Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Um, Look, I know it's late, and some people are already live doing some other stuff, probably getting ready to watch the Mandalorian's new episode coming on tonight, which I'm going to do as well. But I had to get this in because I had some time, so I went ahead, got off work, went to the theater, watched this movie, and then left the movie just look. It's not a typo when you read the title, Fury of Nods. That's what it was. It was boring to me. It was really boring and cringy in some parts. And I don't even really like using that word, but it fits. It totally fits. Now I'm gonna try to get through this without using too much profanity because it's late. I'm kind of tired, and I'm really just hoping that by watching Mandalorian in about an hour, that it'll make it all better. That's really what I'm hoping. It'll just make it all better. I'll just watch the Mandalorian. It'll be good. I'll go to sleep on a happy one instead of thinking about this crap. But since we're here, let's go ahead and get it out the way. Shout out to D Remedy in the building, saying salute to you, D Remedy, and shout out to I'm listening. I see you. I'm listening. Appreciate you coming through. So, so where to start? Where to start? I am aware of all the heat that this movie has been getting since it came out. That most reviewers and everybody else is telling you that it was a flop. It was a flop from box office Thursday till today. It was a flop. And I can't say, excuse me, I can't say that I don't agree. Can't say that I don't agree. It was boring. Now, why was it boring? The easiest way to put it for anybody who hasn't seen it, for anybody who hasn't seen it, if you have watched WandaVision, um, Avengers Infinity War, House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, what was the other one that I throw in there? If you've watched any of those shows, you saw what was in this movie. Because all they did was rip pieces from other TVs and shows out of it, like scene for freaking scene. There's one part in the movie where Freddy has gotten captured by the Daughters of Atlas, and I'm just jumping around in this because it doesn't matter. I don't think you guys are going to go see it anyway. But just saying, she captures Freddy, and she starts levitating Freddy and a piece of the building that they're standing on up into the air. And Shazam, what up, Dr. T? Shazam is chasing after them up into the sky. And you know the only thing I thought of? Oh, that was cute. Ebony Maw did the same thing in Avengers Infinity War. Interesting. Iron Man. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It was stupid. I saw a bubble being created around a city that looked, I don't know, strangely like, WandaVision's Hex. Strangely like that. And got shrunk the same way. Interesting. They must have been playing Future Fight too. I saw a scene that I thought was epic forever. I didn't want to watch Shazam kids fight two old women. You might as well, because they wasn't kicking the old woman's butt. Dr. T, that old lady was cleaning his clock, shaking him out like a dirty rug. Like a dirty rug. Jesus, dude. It was, look, I'll just say this. There's a part in here that was supposed to be epic. There's a part in here that was supposed to be epic. It really was. When I saw, you know what I saw? I saw a ripoff of something that was epic. That means, for me, there's a scene in here where Lucy Liu's character, which is Callisto, right? One of the daughters of Atlas, she's riding on this wood dragon with blue eyes and a blue mouth, and it's supposed to guard this life tree. And I'm jumping around. Don't worry about it. It doesn't fucking matter. Me jumping around is not going to ruin a movie for you at all. Trust me on this. It's not going to ruin a movie for you at all. Now, she realizes that her sister um, not Hephaestus. I forgot her fucking name. Hold on a second. Because I want to get the bullshit right. Seeing as how they couldn't get it right. That's Farah. That's Farah, right? Helen Mirren's character, right? And she's mad at her sister for closing this bubble smaller and not encapsulating this big portion of the city. And her sister tells her, as long as I'm alive, that bubble will stay up, which is common magic shit, right? So what does she do behind a bubble that she knows her sister made that is impenetrable by magic? What does she sit there and do on this flying dragon with blue eyes and a blue mouth? She starts blowing blue flame, trying to get through this magical barrier. And the only thing I thought of was, damn, that looked a lot cooler when the Night King did it. At least then, the wall actually came down. That's what I was seeing watching this. A bunch of stolen pieces from other movies and TV shows. And I'm like, is there no originality left anywhere? Nobody has an idea for themselves? I mean, for real, look, I'll show you guys. You see how many notes I made on this? If you can, if you might be able to. You see how many notes I made on this? I didn't make that many notes for a movie I liked. Not for the last crappy one I saw. But all of it is stuff that's just stupid. Like, oh, that was the other movie I forgot. Doctor Strange, the first one. You know, all that cool visual shit that the ancient one was doing? Yeah, they got that in here too. Just the same. I'm like, so you watched Infinity War and you thought it was that cool? Holy shit. I really don't know why this even came out. I really don't know why, outside of the fact that DC or Warner Brothers needed to put out a number 2 of it. They were saying they were going to do some cool stuff in this. I didn't see anything cool until the final act, the final fight, 2 separate scenes, and it wasn't nothing but the original Captain Marvel punching a dragon in the face. I was like, wow, that was cool. That looked nice. Awesome. What up, Cat? Oh, well, like Doctor Strange, I must see it now. Yeah, Doctor Strange, the first one was all right, but there's a visual effect that they do if you haven't seen Doctor Strange, where the world is shifting around, kind of like this Inception type of stuff, or looking at the world through a kaleidoscope. They do that in here as one of the characters' powers. I'm like, we've seen that already. We as the audience have seen that already. What are you doing? Yeah, so if you want to, check it out if you want to, please do. But so just to give you an overview of the story, because this is my review, I will not talk about this damn thing again, except on Sunday. If somebody else wants to talk about it, if somebody else sat through this and stayed awake, and you want to talk about it on Sunday Shop Talk, by all means, bring it up and throw it on the grill, and we can roast it. But otherwise, I'm not talking about this shit again after I talk about it right now. That's it. I'm not talking about it again. I'm not wasting my damn time. I'm really not. So this one opens up with Billy Batson and his family all there, all having powers in Philly. And the silly part of it is, yes, they're operating in Philly as superheroes, but they are the shittiest superheroes ever. Why? Because they keep tearing up stuff all over the city. And it's not bad enough as one of them do it. There's five other ones too. They call them the Philly Fiasco. That's the name of the group because nobody has a real name for themselves. Everybody is giving themselves, what they think are superhero names. I mean, it opens up with, oh my fucking God, dude. There's a problem with the bridge in the city. The kids, find a way to get out the house from the parents. The little transformation scene you see in the commercials. And they fly over to the bridge, but every one of them is doing some separate goofy stuff. Megan Good's character playing the older version of I think it's Darcy. She flies up onto the bridge cables collapsing and everything else. She finds a car, a VW Bug with 4 girls in it. She sees the 4 girls in the car, sees the kitties in the back. Oh, kitties! Grabs the cats and super speeds away to rescue the cats. While the girls are sitting there like, did she just leave us? And then she comes back to rescue them. I'm like, is this character mentally retarded? Is that what they're doing? They're making this girl on the spectrum? And remember that comment, because it'll come back later on. Is she on the spectrum? Because this just seems absolutely stupid for the age that she's supposed to be. Now, not only is she doing that, while the other brother, the Asian one, I'm forgetting his name, is trying to actually, weld the cables together and actually try to save the bridge. He sees some other stuff going on, and it snaps. So he's just like, fuck it. I'll fly off and do something else, right? Shazam is there trying to coordinate everybody like he's the the senior hero. He don't know what the hell he's doing. Pedro is there just grabbing people, super speeding and catching people and pulling them off the bridge, which is useful. Freddy's ass is there saving chicks, trying to take pictures and stuff. I'm like, what kind of dumbass kids are these? The way you set it up in the scene is that everybody's life is in danger, right? The bridge could possibly collapse. There's cables snapping all over the place. And I'm sorry, I'm do construction stuff. I'm in the engineering. If you had that many god dang cables snapping on the bridge, it's in the water. It is in the water. It can no longer support the road deck. It's in the water. Call me a nerd. It is what it is. I'm like, suspension of disbelief is gone right now. I cannot suspend any disbelief on this. What the hell? This is stupid. But in the midst of all of that, these kids is trying to take picture and get dates. Don't believe me? Watch the movie. That first 20 minutes. They get these people off the bridge. The only one who seems like she has a shred of intelligence going on with her is Mary Marvel. Now, they don't call it Mary Marvel in it, but if you read comics, you know who the heck the character is. Mary Marvel. She's the only one who has some sense, is actually saving people and getting them off the bridge and stuff. Everybody else is a dumbass. I'm sitting there watching this. It's like, really? This is what we are doing. Okay. Now, Billy wants to call a group huddle. And say, oh, hey, got everybody off the bridge? Good. Now, let's stop this bridge from falling. Next scene is the bridge in the water. But the kids are all slapping each other 5 and stuff like they did such a good job. I'm like, I mean, do they not understand what's going on here? They must all be stupid. You don't understand what just happened? The amount of property damage, just the bridge collapsing? No investigation, no nothing. Bridge is just wiped out. Now, if that's not bad enough, Rock of Ages looks like the Ninja Turtles hideout or something. Or not even the Ninja Turtles hideout, excuse me. Go further back. The Foot Clan hideout in the original Ninja Turtles movie. You know, stuff strewn all over the place, Slurpees and Gatorade and all kind of shit all over the place. It looks ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. And this is at the Rock of Ages. I don't know what they were going for. I don't know if the actors were having a good time doing this or not, but this seems like the most ridiculous set to be on as a grown adult. Even playing not elementary school children, high schoolers, playing high schoolers. You know, people who trying to kiss and worrying about having sex and going off to college and stuff. What they did was had them acting like freaking 5-year-olds, maybe 10. It was not cool. The only one that's acting like she got a half a bit of sense is Mary Marvel. Because she's sitting there reading books on, anatomy and stuff like that, organic chemistry and whatnot. Everybody else doing stereotypical kid shit. Now you get here, you get to the Rock of Ages while they're sitting in there, it looks like they ripped it off from Harry Potter. You got books flying around and stuff and little magic pencils that you can talk to that write out everything you say without any sense. Anyway. The other part that happens in the beginning is you get the introduction of Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren's characters, Callisto, and I'm going to keep messing up this chick's name because I keep wanting to say Hephaestus. Regardless, these are the two daughters of Atlas. They roll into this museum in Rome, and they want to steal this magic staff. Stop me if you heard this before. Now, the person tells them they can't take the staff, but they flip over the case, which seems really easy in a museum. That's not how that works. But they grab the staff and they take it. And they each take a half, and it gives them powers. So then they start messing with the people in there. And one of the ways they start messing with the people in there is Lucy Liu's character, Callisto, whispers something in the dude's ear, and then you see his eyes start changing and turning black. And then he just starts going crazy and attacking somebody else, whispering something in their ear, and then they start turning. And this part of the movie, I'm thinking, like, is this a zombie movie now? Did I just see another version of zombies? I just finished The Last of Us. What are we doing? But wait a minute. This reminds me of something else again. Holy cow. It reminds me of the Avengers and Loki and his magic staff turning people into his little drones. Interesting. Hold that thought. Now, they want the staff because the staff, in some way, is the powers that their father once had. That these earthly wizards fought their father, took his powers, and all the rest of the powers of the gods and put it into a staff, and then gave said powers to a mortal champion and encased their realm in an anti-magic bubble, so to speak, right? So there's no magic in their realm anymore. But what they need to bring that magic back is the seeds of the life tree, the tree of life. And it's hidden somewhere that they cannot get to. So that's why they need the stick. That's why they need the staff. So they can find the champion who has those powers. And they can do stuff with the staff. They can just use it. Because apparently it still has some freaking power in it. But They go ahead and they go to the wizard Shazam and use their powers on him to get him to reforge the staff into one, which is some pretty messed up stuff. But look, unless you're black, it wouldn't bother you so much. But they had a black dude in a cage and used telekinetics on him to pull his ass damn near through the bars and force him to put a stick together for him. And the only thing I was thinking of when I saw Jamon Houston like this, with his hands through the bar and they just shaking, is like, give free. That's what I thought of. Amistad. That's what I thought of. I'm like, I must have just seen too many goddamn movies. Because this is looking like carbon copy for carbon copy ripoff of scenes. And color me, different. I don't like seeing black dudes in cages getting abused. Doesn't make me feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. But they get them to reform the staff, and they got the staff, and they want to just take vengeance on the mortal world. What up, BMT? He said, I could have sworn Merlin was the last wizard. Not in DC, my dude. Shazam is a wizard. Merlin, you want to find Merlin in comics? You go to Marvel, because they use those people. DC didn't. So there you go. And Dr. T said, you thought the wizard was dead? You thought wrong. Oh, no, sir. He's in this one. But for all he has to do in this movie, he could have been dead. He could have been completely dead. It wouldn't have made any difference to the story whatsoever. Even at key points, he barely provided any information. He was just there. Everything else that happens in the movie is happening by other characters. One character primarily, being Freddy. Not even the star of the damn movie. Not Aaron Asher. No, not that kid. No. Freddy. What's the name? Such and such Grazer? Him. He's basically the main character of this stuff. Because he's the only character who has any emotional growth and development going on in the movie. Aaron Archer or Asher, whatever the fuck his name is. You see that kid probably 3 times in the whole movie. Once in the beginning, and he turns into Shazam. Comes back a little later, turns back into Shazam, and then you see him right before the end. Or excuse me, see him in the end. Yeah, it's about 3 times, which is fucking ridiculous. Because while he is Billy Batson is not the star of the story. Shazam is, and that's Zachary Levi. That kid is out the picture that long. So the overpowered, the wizard who is on par with the Lord of Order. As far as I remember, Lord Order is in Marvel, not DC. But I'm not the biggest devotee of everybody's DC's pantheon. I'm not. Is it that bad? Beast is boring. It's just boring. There's a lot of stuff in there that's stupid and doesn't make any sense. And it is too beneath a child level to say it's childlike. It's grown man-child, stereotypical. That's what it is. Because you have to remember, most of the people in the, Captain Marvel family are boys, right? So there's only 2 chicks in it. And out of the 2 females that's there, Mary is the only one that got any goddamn sense. Darla, that's her name, Darla, not Darcy. Thinking of fucking Cat Dennings. Darla acts like she's on the spectrum because she's trying to play it like it's innocent, right? And it doesn't work for Megan Good. I like Megan Good. Megan Good is fine as hell. This was a wasted fucking role for her. I know it's a check. I know she can get paid off of it. But goddamn, what a waste. What a fucking waste. Just to be on screen acting like a little dumbass. Ugh, God. Now, I'm not saying she about to win no Academy Award or no Oscar and shit. But this was a waste of her talents. It was. She could have got recast and they still could have paid her. I don't care. But it was a waste of her time to do this shit. A lot of them, it was a waste of her time. Dr. Faith Helmus is Lord of Order. Yeah, I'm forgetting. Thank you, Dr. T. Dr. T was really boned up, and I'm tired. But shit, the Lord of Order wasn't even from Earth. He was an alien. So there we go with that. What do you think about the average? I hadn't even got to that, King Parish, but thanks for jumping the shark. Because I told him that part would come back. Now that you got the basic setup for this, the three sisters need to find the champions who have the powers that they're looking for. Because when they go back to their realm, how they got out of it without magic, nobody seems to say. But if they're trapped in the realm, closed off by magic, and they go to a cell where they're holding the wizard, doesn't have his powers because he gave it all to Shazam. It seems to me, magic-wise, if he created this bubble and you got him in a cell, why'd you kill his ass? Because then the bubble would drop. That's how the magic works, right? Person who created the incantation is the only one who can release it. Unless they're dead. In which case, you'd be free. No, that's not what happens. No, that's not what happens at all. Y'all gonna get me off course with all the rest of the side shit, but I'm not gonna read that anymore. Thank you. Because that's on some shit I'm not even talking about right now. I'm trying to get this movie off my mind or out of my mind, and y'all to deal with it. Now, they go back to the realm, and their plot is to find the people who have the person who has the power that they're looking for. And then the story cuts back to following Freddie, not Billy, in school. And Freddie meeting a new girl in school who's coming in and wants to, find her way to her class. And Freddie comes in to try to help her with his voice cracking and everything else. Like, I don't know, like maybe he 13, hasn't hit puberty all the way yet. And while he's doing that, he gets, interrupted by the two bullies in the school, the Briars, which I believe were in the last movie, right? The funny part about them calling Briar, I was hoping for a Brandon Briar so far, because I was waiting to see some Brightburn action in this because they needed it. I was getting irritated. Now, what these two little bullies do, since Freddie, in the middle of the hall in front of everybody in school, is talking to this girl and trying to help her out, and they come up and try to, shit on Freddie, and he stands up to them. They punch his ass and drop him to the floor, take his crutch and bend it in half in front of everybody in the school. And they're going to throw him in the garbage can in front of everybody in the school until one of the teachers show up. And what do? They just kind of play it off like, oh, what does garbage can do in here? Oh, whatever. Right? And then, they give him back his case. Hey, watch yourself finally, you fail, whatever. And they leave. And the teacher that, yeah, I saw the inside of many of garbage cans when I went here. And just walks off. That's it. Nothing happens to these dudes. Nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck? Now, Freddie continues to talk to the new girl who was Anna, and she's kind of taken by him saying, oh, you're a hero and all the rest of this shit because he stood up. And he's trying to, legit talk to her because he's instantly attracted to her, right? Soon as he walks her to her class, these same dudes throw a ball and hit his ass in the side of the head hard as shit in the hallway and drop him to the floor in front of everybody again. And at this point, I'm sitting here looking at these little motherfuckers like, are these just straight up sociopaths? Is nobody doing anything about this? Like, I remember high school too. But usually in my high school, you got stomped out by a bunch of people. It wasn't just these two goofballs in there acting an ass in front of everybody, and nobody said anything, not even the teachers. Are you? Look, that was irritating. The other thing that's irritating is what you find out is that Billy is trying to keep this superpower family group together. Like trying to have meetings and go over, game film, like going over the news reports of what they were doing out there, like he's being a coach or something for superheroes, like he knows what the hell he's doing. And he's getting real anxious because he's getting ready to turn 18. And as it stands, he's in a foster home. So at 18, he ages out of the system. And he's worried he's going to lose everybody, that the parents are going to send him away and everything. Now, this doesn't make any sense for the fact that Mary is still there. Mary is over 18. And Mary is still there. And although Mary is still there, Billy is still going through this shit. Oh, my mom left me. My dad left me. Freddie wants to go off and do his own thing. I'm just trying to keep it all together because they could get rid of me. Now, whereas as being a child that was almost adopted, and having a foster mother and some foster siblings, I can tell you this. That's not usually how it works. And if your older sister, who was already past 18, is still there, I think you're pretty good that you're not going anywhere. Just kind of guessing. So this whole trope in there that he is in some way in danger of losing his family, which he doesn't want to lose because they're going to throw him away, is dumb. It's really dumb. Your older sister is 18 and she's still staying in the same house. This ain't cheaper by the damn dozen. She's still staying in the same house with you. She's supposed to be off to college. She didn't go to college to be here with y'all doing superhero shit. That also sounds dumb. Especially since you don't need to be together to use your powers. But that's the rule Billy gave him, that, hey, we all do it or nobody does it. Get the fuck out of here. What kind of sense does that make? So this is his angst through this. He's trying to keep his family together and be a better hero. But he's doing the goofiest stuff. The absolute goofiest stuff. Now, Beasley, it is bad writing. Even explaining this shit is pissing me off, dude. I'm really trying to contain myself. I really am. I'm really trying to contain myself because it is just bad writing. It's not even sophomoric writing. Like, Jesus, why did you think this was gonna fly? Ugh. Detroit. Anyway, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna just keep powering through and start reading y'all comments. Now, excuse me. What you end up finding out from, excuse me, popcorn, from the rest of the family's exploration in the Rock of Ages, and excuse me, Freddie's trying to get alone time with the new girl. You end up finding out that the new girl is one of Atlas's daughters. That he has three daughters, and she's one of them. And she was there to try to find the champions. And since Freddie was supposedly the boy who knows superheroes, she starts getting close to him. And then the older sisters show up. And with this wand of Shazam that they got put together by Shazam, when they hit Freddy with a blast of this, it turns him back into Freddy. He is no longer Mr. Every Power, Captain Every Power, which he calls himself. It's like, that's so fucking stupid. He turns back into Freddy with the cane and everything. Find this person, take his powers, and then she finds out there's more than one of them. Oh, awesome. So all we have to do is take all of your powers, and then we'll have the staff charged up, and we can get the stuff that we need. Now, this part is stupid because for one part in it, they're focused on trying to get the powers back from these people. But later on in the movie, they tell you that the thing that they're looking for, this seed for the life tree, is hidden somewhere that they cannot get to. Only the hero can get to it. So it begs the question to me, like, so why would you take all their powers? Because taking all their powers wouldn't get you anywhere closer to getting this seed. Because one, you don't know what the fuck it is. And two, if you did, you couldn't get there without having one of them to get there. So what good is it? Unless this is just the bad writing part. Unless you had a magic door that led from your realm to the Rock of Ages, sitting in your own realm, and you just never thought to go through the fucking door to find what you were looking for. Look. This shit was bad. This shit was so bad. Saying it out loud is bad. It's like it's jumbled in my mind as bad as it was jumbled on the screen. Because as soon as I start trying to recount this for y'all, my mind is jumping to the stuff that doesn't make sense and trying to fix it. Let's just put it this way, just to end it off, because I don't want to read all of this. I really don't. I really don't want to read all of this. This is just sapping my fucking energy. Put it this way. One of the cringe moments in the movie, one of which that Detroit or somebody else was mentioning here, is that Billy wants to get invited into the Justice League since he's had lunch with Superman and shit, right? He wants to get invited to the Justice League. And once the wizard, Shazam, finds out what's going on and Freddy is actually brought to the same prison that he's in, he uses a little bit of magic that he's not supposed to have, but he pulled off a little piece of the staff that they had him reform as a splinter and used it to find the person responsible for the staff being broken. And you end up on a scene where Shazam is in Paris and he's sitting down to dinner, and he's sitting down with Wonder Woman. He's sitting down with Wonder Woman. They're having a conversation, and it's about possibly joining the Justice League or something like that. And Shazam is really trying to, mac to Wonder Woman a little bit, right? That he likes her. Well, can we seal the deal with like a kiss or something like that? And when he pops a mint in his mouth and goes to try to kiss Wonder Woman, because you don't see her face, you see her back, you see her hair. When she turns around, you just see it from the top down, right? You don't see her face. Then when he goes in to try to kiss her, it's Jamon Houston's face on Gal Gadot's body or somebody's body. So basically, you got this black man's face with this hair in a female's body. That shit was so fucking insulting. I was like, what in the fuck is this? Now, mind you, 3 seats down from me, I got a man and his son watching this shit. The kid is probably 7 or 8. Probably 7 or 8. Now, I didn't look down there, but I could see in my peripheral. The kid was squirming. The little boy was squirming. Like, oh. Yeah, that's the same thing I was doing, kid. The same thing. Like, oh my God, what? Ugh. And they didn't just show it once. They had a long conversation. They just lingered on it. I'm like, what kind of goofy, absolutely insulting thing is this? This dark-ass black man's face with the beard and stuff and all of Wonder Woman's hair and her body and boobs and stuff like that. And he just, and it doesn't even look like good fucking CG. I'm like, the insult to this dude ain't gonna stop. Not this movie. Oh no. What up, brother? Truth be told. What's with the wisdom of Solomon being left out of Shazam's powers, though? It wasn't left out. How they did it in this movie is that each one of them has one of those abilities. Freddy was the one who had the wisdom of Solomon. And Freddy was the one who got depowered. So he ain't got the wisdom of Solomon anymore. He's still smart, but he don't have the wisdom of Solomon. That means the rest of the Marvel family doesn't have that wisdom. They got to figure it out for themselves. And apparently the other 5 of them couldn't scrape together an idea unless Mary found it herself, which is what happens. They're just useless, even with powers. Now, that was one cringeworthy part. Because what you find out is that once Billy finishes seeing the wizard's face on Wonder Woman's body, he wakes up. He was dreaming. It wasn't Wonder Woman. That the wizard showed up to tell him some information to get him to wake up out of his damn dream of dreaming about Wonder Woman and bring the family together because he has information that he needs to tell them all so they can go back to the Rock of Ages and find out this information they need about who the daughters of Atlas are, what's going on, why he broke the staff to begin with, why did he break the staff in the first movie and then just leave it sitting there on the goddamn ground. It's like makes him the most incompetent hero. That's him making his own problems. Because even as a kid, he didn't know, look, this magic rod that this dude was using that gave me powers that this guy was going to take over the world with, I broke it and I left it sitting at the carnival on the ground. I don't know if y'all know this, but Billy Batson is supposed to be kind of street smart, as far as I remember from the comics. He's supposed to be kind of street smart. That was dumb, even for a child. I could see a child of a certain age leaving a coat, their cell phone, their keys, or something like that. But a child who just fought this magical person, got these magical powers, and just broke this magical wand that he was using to do some damage with, I don't believe he would break it and just leave it sitting there on the damn ground. That seems pretty goddamn stupid. Not even conveniently stupid for a story sense. It just sounds like what Beastly was saying in here already. Bad writing. Now, the second most cringeworthy part in this is where I audibly said, "What the fuck," in the movie theater, forgetting about the kid being sitting down there, was at a common point in the movie, the villains get a hold of the seed of the life tree. And one of them decides, no, I don't want to bring life back to my world. I'm fucking up their world because I don't like humans. And this is what we're supposed to do. We need to reestablish the natural order of things. Let them know what their position is. I'm like, damn, I've heard a rant like this before, Loki. This sounds like Avengers. Interesting. And sure enough, she pops back in on Earth, goes to Philly Stadium, plants this seed in the ground, and you get another fantastic DC animation trope. Fucking tendrils going everywhere. Living tendrils just moving all over the place because these are the roots of the tree. And I'm sitting there watching that shit like, Warner Brothers just love putting giant tendrils and shit, don't they? I mean, how many movies is this now where they had the same thing for the big villain? Suicide Squad, Justice League movie, now this one. Dude, they keep doing huge tentacle things. What's up with they animators? Are they perverts or something? Because this doesn't make any sense. Every movie, the same goddamn thing? Checking out. Checking out. Now, what ends up being cringe is out of these tendrils come all types of mythical creatures. Minotaurs, cyclops, fucking griffins, little scorpion sheds, oh, harpies, all kind of stuff comes out there and it starts attacking the people there. And I'm like, oh, well, it's not like I still haven't seen this before, but all right, that's kind of cool. I like seeing minotaurs, even fierce ones. Shout out to my magic players, right? I like minotaurs. Okay, whatever. Now, at this point, since the kids have run from the Rock of Ages when, the bad people came back to the Rock of Ages with a big ass dragon and escaped the Rock of Ages because they ran through the portals the kids ran through into their own house, brought this dragon into the real world so it can plant its seed it needed to. So now you have the parents and the kids, and the parents finding out that the kids are these terrible fucking superheroes in their city that are just troublemakers who just keep tearing up the city. And the wizard being there with them and figuring out they got to stop these creatures down there while Billy does what he needs to help save everything. They try to figure out what all these creatures are afraid of. And apparently, what's up, 3000 GT? Apparently, all these creatures are afraid of the King of Beast. And the kids are trying to figure out why they're in the mystery machine with the dad and the mom, who don't look like they would ever be a couple in the real world, ever. But it's a movie, suspension of disbelief. They find out that they need to get the King of Beasts, and they think it's a lion. And what the wizard tells them, no, it's a unicorn. And I'm like, what? And the wizard explains to him that the unicorn is the most fearsome thing you'd ever want to meet. It's the apex predator of these mythical creatures and shit like that. It's a killer. It's me. So they ping up a list of what they need for the unicorn. And one of the things the unicorn needs is ambrosia, has the sweet smell of that. And Darla has an idea. Same idea she's been dragging through this whole fucking movie outside of the unicorns thing. Now, how they figured out where to find these damn unicorns is a mystery to me. But sure enough, they find this unicorn from grown out of these limbs of this tree, pops out of its little pod, and here's a unicorn, all black and glowing eyes. I'm like, well, that looks kind of cool. It does. Looks like my Pokemon Go Ponyta, sort of. What up, Toya? BTM in the building. Yeah, Beastly, a fucking unicorn, right? Now they all go there to talk to to get this unicorn or whatever. And Darla is the only one that's not afraid. And the unicorn starts coming and it's going at her, and she's just sitting there like a retard. Oh, it's so good. Hi, come to me. I'm like, what in the fuck? Everybody else is scared but her. The unicorn gets there, steps about a couple feet from her. As soon as his foot hits out, she throws Skittles out of her pocket at the unicorn. And what happens? The unicorn stops, dead stride, about to skewer her. Stops and lays down and starts eating the Skittles. And you know what this fucking line is for this movie? Taste the rainbow. I'm like, I said this in the theater. Get the fuck out of here. Cringing. Regardless of the little kid down there. I said that loud. I was pissed. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I couldn't believe it. It was so many cringe ass lines in this shit of just shit that's going on and people are saying to each other. I'm like, oh God, that was like, that didn't even take any effort to write. It took more effort to sit there and type that up than to believe that was a line in this movie. Taste the rainbow. I said, holy shit, we got a Skittles commercial now. I couldn't believe it. It's the closest thing I can get to ambrosia. No, it ain't. Did you think about going by a grocery store? It's because Skittles don't smell like shit but sugar. Detroit, you said you were rolling. You better than me. I wasn't laughing at all. I was not laughing at all. I was done. I was checked out. I was asking the waiter for my check. Or I was leaving. No, I was done. That was stupid as fuck. And of course, what up, Art? Dope boy in the building. And of course, in the next scene, all these people are riding these black steeds with Darla right out in front on a black unicorn, skewering the same creatures that came out of the same type of pods that the unicorn just came out of, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Why in the hell, even if this is the tree of life, why in the hell would the tree of life spawn the very thing that will kill these creatures that are coming out of there at the same time? Seems like they would get killed. You wouldn't have these creatures. But that's what's happening. Now, skipped over a bunch, but at a point in here, when they're, looking for the unicorns, the fermenting tension between the sisters pops up. Now, at this point in this movie, these three sisters, one Caucasian, one Asian, one Latina, one old, one middle aged, one young, is looking a lot like the Foundation TV show to me on Apple TV with the three Cleons. That's what it was. Three versions of the same person, just at different ages. And if you watch the Foundation show, that's what you saw. There was an older Cleon, there was a middle aged Cleon, and there was a young Cleon. And they all took turns teaching each other. But that was still just a ripoff of Aeon Flux, where they raised their own clones of themselves and taught those clones everything they needed to know until they got old and died, and the clones took over. And they repeated the process again. But anyway, the sisters end up having an issue, and Lucy Liu, Callisto, who has the dragon with her, whose breath incites fear, decides she want to kill off all these humans and take over this world. And the older sister kind of falling back, like, no, this ain't what we're supposed to be doing. We just, supposed to be rejuvenating our realm. Fuck all that. We need to kill all of them. We can start it here in their realm. I don't agree, sister. You off the edge. She kills her. Or so you think. Why? Well, she uses the dragon's tail, and the dragon runs the sister through. Now, these people are supposed to be gods. I don't know why a mystical dragon's tail would kill her, but it does, so to speak. You think she's dead for a while until the movie itself kind of remembers the fact that if she died, there is no dome anymore because she died. She created it. So if she died, it goes away with her. And the movie remembers this later on when Billy wants to get her help to stop her crazy Asian sister. And she tells her sister, as long as I'm alive, this force field will never go down. So we should have known you weren't dead earlier? Like not 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before? We should have known you weren't dead, right? So inevitably, to save everybody, because they get into a couple of fights with, you know, the sisters and them being in this realm and not planting a little seed for the life tree because, they kind of the ones who gave the shit to her. You get a game of keep away where every couple of minutes or so they use super speed and take the wand from one of the sisters, but they always end up getting it back. And I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. I'm watching a game of steal the bacon with superheroes, and they keep snatching this thing and giving it back, and snatching this thing and giving it the fuck back. It is childish. Childish. And I'm just waiting for, like, what's the point? What is the point to all of this shit? You get to the end. Billy has enlisted Helen Mirren's character's help to, instead of bringing down the dome, he just wants to shrink it because he figures out that since the dome absorbs, ricochets his power, and the staff absorbs it like a battery, he's just going to overload the battery. So he has her shrink the dome down, and then just he and the other sister, Callisto, on the dragon in the world tree is still there. He's made you look, stolen the staff from her again. Like, get the fuck out of here for the fifth time. And now he's inside the dome, just letting off his electric powers and absorbing it in the staff. And I'm sitting there thinking, this looked a little cooler in WandaVision. When she was fighting Agatha Harkness and she kept throwing that energy. And Agatha was like, oh, you missed me, bitch. But didn't see them runes on the walls. Yeah. Yeah. So this gets into the part that actually looked decent to me, where Shazam is actually fighting this dragon. And his costume gets messed up a bit because the dragon spews on top of fear, inducing flame, but magical flame. And it burns the red off his costume, and his costume looks all black and silver, black and gold. Shout out to Black Adam. It looks kind of cool. While he's still holding the staff, kicking the dragon's ass. And in the grand finale of this, he takes that staff and flies into the dragon, yelling Shazam and destroying the dragon and the world tree all at the same time. And the only thing I thought of when I was watching this was, damn, that was an awesome scene in Justice League. Was it even Justice League? Yeah. When Superman flew with the little kryptonite saber that fucking Batman had made into Doomsday. Yeah, that same shit again. Same fucking thing. Again. There's a big explosion inside the dome, and then all of a sudden the dome falls because Helen Mirren's character dies because the life tree has been destroyed. The staff has not been destroyed. The dragon was destroyed. The thunderbolt destroyed the seed, so there's no tree, and all these god people start withering to dust. All the creatures start turning to ash and leaves and all kind of shit. It's just cleanup duty now. And the family who was outside of thank you, Beastly Nerd. Batman versus Superman. Another could have been the Justice League. It didn't fucking matter. I told you it's late and I'm tired. I told you it's late and I'm tired. I still got another hour to go to watch some shit in review. You get the family coming into the stadium looking for Billy, and they find Billy, and Billy is dead. His body is there, but everything else is gone. The wizard Shazam shows up, and somehow, they get back to the realm of the gods because they feel they should bury him like a god. He was a hero, and he was a god. I'm like, no, he wasn't. He was a fucking kid with powers. They get back there, and they bury him in the same place that these sisters were. And they ask about, is there anything that they can do? And the wizard tells them, no, there's nothing they can do because the staff doesn't have any power. You need a spark of a god, and all the gods are dead. And then, wouldn't you know, who shows up? Fucking Wonder Woman. Yeah, Gal Gadot shows up all of a sudden. I wouldn't say that. I think that's what her line was, which is dumb as fuck. Now, y'all know I like Gal Gadot because Gal Gadot is pretty. A little thin, but she is pretty, right? She does wear the costume well. Fine, whatever, fuck. She walks up, takes the staff from the wizard, grabs it in her two palms, and pounds it into the earth. And apparently she became Thor the goddamn thunder god all of a sudden, calls down a lightning bolt that hits the staff and the energy goes into the ground. And sure enough, Shazam crawls out of the grave, covered in dirt. Like, why'd y'all bury me? I was only dead for like a minute. Staff is recharged. He's alive. Wonder Woman is leaving. And Shazam, Billy takes his opportunity to shoot his shot at Wonder Woman. Now, this cringe moment is brought to you by Dr. Tiasan Johnson and the stuff that he was just talking about today on his stream. And I was talking about last week that seemed really goddamn funny. Billy is trying to hit on Wonder Woman because he wants to be part of Justice League, but he thinks she's beautiful and shit, right? And she tells him that you need to wait till you grow up, kid, or some shit like that. She calls him a kid because he's kind of trying to shoot his shot at her, and he's like, she knows she's a kid, right? The mother says something. Billy Batson's adopted mama says something that was the most ridiculous shit I'd heard. She said, "What is it with our sons and older women?" And I'm like, what? Motherfucker, I just listened to Dr. Tiasan not 2 hours before give another report of another Caucasian woman grooming some 12-year-old boy, having sex with him, having his child, and sexually abusing him for years. Last week, it was 3 of them. Are you fucking shitting me that that's the line they threw in this movie? And I'm sitting there thinking about it. It's like, wow, it's really interesting because they had Freddie hooked up with this chick, Anathene or whatever the fuck her name was, and she's supposed to be 6,000 years old. But Freddie still wants to kiss her and stuff like that. It's like, that just makes it gross. And the parents do have a line and said, "Is this appropriate?" The husband is asking his wife, "Is it appropriate that a 6,000-year-old chick, even though she looks like a teenager, is kissing on his, I don't know, 15-year-old son?" Yeah, there's an issue. But then they're just laughing about it later on when Billy, who they know is a child, maybe 18, and he's telling Wonder Woman, "I'm almost 18 or whatever, would you like to such and such?" He's shooting a shot at Wonder Woman, and you know how fucking old she is? Probably 1,000, if not more. And it's just laughed off. I'm like, what? Come on, man. What is this? But I was already done by that time. Yeah, Beasley, it's a big damn issue. But the dad is like, should we be concerned? Is this an issue? Why are you asking your wife? Why are you asking your wife? You don't know if it's an issue or not? The fuck out of here. So that ends the movie. Gal Gadot was in there for like 2 minutes in and out. Her scene is longer than Superman's scene in Black Adam, but it's about as pointless. I don't know how old Freddie is supposed to be. I said 13, but he's in high school, so he got to be at least 15. At least 15. I don't know what grade he in, but he's Billy's friend. Billy's almost 18. Maybe Freddie is 17. Maybe. I don't fucking know. 6,000 years, even though she looked like a teenager. Yeah, that's a stretch, homie. That's a stretch. If the roles were reversed and Freddie was a vampire, you'd be saying that shit was sick. You trying to suck the life out of her. Funny, right? Funnier than this fucking movie. And that is part of the movie. Now, that's the movie, right? The first post-credit scene is supposed to be their post-credit stinger, right? And what you get is Harcourt, and I'm forgetting the big dude's name that was in Peacemaker, right? So basically, James Gunn's wife and this dude from the Peacemaker show that worked for Amanda Waller. And they're walking up this road, and she's bitching at him because he's walking so slow because he has new shoes on. And it doesn't hurt. All this role reversal shit of he's the feminine one and she's the masculine one, even though her face and head looks like it's floating on a stick. And they're looking for somebody that Waller told them to get to bring into such and such, right? That he's a powerhouse, but he's kind of immature. Now, who the hell do you think they're talking about? Billy Batson. Now, why he is out here in the middle of nowhere at this gas station, this ran down shack in the woods somewhere, I don't know. I don't know how they found the place. I don't know what's going on here. But what it is they're rolling up on him to ask him to join a group. And Harcourt gets it out a little bit. We'd like you to join the Justice. Yes, I'm in, is what Billy says right off the bat. Yes, I'm in. Why? Because he thinks they are inviting him to join the Justice League because he wants to be close to Wonder Woman. Simp. And what they tell him is, welcome to the Justice Society. And he's like, wait a minute, what's the Justice Society? This is not the group with Wonder Woman in it? Now, on top of that, he's talking about dreaming about Wonder Woman. And the big dude, I can't remember his damn name, thinks he's weird. That he's a superpower person dreaming about Wonder Woman, wanting to be near Wonder Woman. He thinks it's weird. I was like, what are you gay? We already had one person come out as gay in this. Are you? Why do you see that as being weird? That doesn't even make any sense. But they want him to join the Justice Society, not the League, not the one with Wonder Woman in it. He want to be in the group with Wonder Woman in it. He's not in that group. And he starts looking up names that they probably should have picked something better. And one of the names he finally settles on at the end was like, the Avengers Society. Wow, that sounds good. And I'm like, what? Oh my God, dude. What the fuck? Now, I guess that's supposed to be their little jab at Marvel. I guess that's what it's supposed to be. Now, being that it's a post-credit scene and James Gunn's wife's in it, I'm assuming James Gunn shot that shit. Just assuming. With the whole Avengers thing thrown in there just to be funny. But it wasn't. It made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Pointless. Like a bowling ball. The end credit scene is even more pointless than that one. What you get is a trip to a prison, and it opens on a sketch of a dude with a cape and a lightning bolt on his chest with a knife sticking out his neck. And all this scrawled stuff all over the walls. And you pan around, you see the back of somebody sitting in this room with all this stuff scrawled on the wall, and then you hear a voice. And the person sitting there turns around, and it's Mark Strong as Dr. Sivana. And who is he talking to? Mr. Mime, the caterpillar, sitting in the cell window. And fucking hell. Dr. Sivana and Mr. Mime start talking to each other about what the hell is going on. Why is it taking him so long? He's been sitting in there for 2 years. What happened? And Mr. Mime tells him, look, I was setting some stuff up and it takes a while. I don't have wings or legs. It takes me a while to get around. Now, that part was actually kind of funny because it's a caterpillar, being frank, like, dude, what the hell? It takes me a minute to get somewhere. That part actually made me laugh, right? Like, yeah, no shit. But when he tells him Sivana is pissed off, he wants to get out. He said, I'm 57 years old, man. How long is it going to take? He said, I'm almost there. I need to do one more thing. That actually made me laugh, too. It's like, fucking hell, dude. You just went over how long it takes him to get around. He said he got one more thing to do. He'll be right back. And Mr. Mind peace out on him. He leaves. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Look, funny as that might have been, I don't give a shit about what he was doing. I don't even want to see it. I don't care. Only thing I thought of after that thing came off, like, God damn, thank God James Gunn is coming around. He's gonna change all this shit. Look, board wipe, flashpoint. Let's get it all over with. Let's get it all over with. This is fucking stupid. And that's where the movie ended. That is where the movie ended. The other thing I thought watching that, thank God The Rock didn't do this movie. Thank God. Thank God he tried to do his own franchise. Because you know what I saw on this movie when I was watching the credits? Peter Safran, producer. You know, the same one that's hooked up with James Gunn and going to be running the DCU now. Yeah, he got producing credits on this piece of shit. Just like Walter Hamada. And the director who I'm like, dude, I don't ever need to see your name again. And you be happy I'm forgetting who you were. I saw Jeff Johns' name in this shit too as an executive producer. I'm like, of what? Is Drek? Ugh, God. God. And that was it. And that's why I call it Shazam, Fury of the Nods. Because I should have went to sleep. I could have went to sleep. Now, I'll say this. Dr. Anwar came on last week and said he saw it. And he was kind of excited about some of the stuff he saw in it. And I'm not the biggest DC devotee. I'm not. If I wanted to talk to somebody who was a big DC devotee, I'd talk to Charles Faulkner, or I'd talk to Artie Emmore. They're big DC fans. I read some DC, but I'm not a huge DC fan. I told you, I like all comic book companies. I'll read anybody's comic, but I'm more in a Marvel house than in the DC one. It's just how it is, right? I was not excited about this shit. This fell so much lower than the first movie to me, I don't even want to watch it again. I'm mad I watched it this time. But I watched it hearing the negative stuff that people were saying about it before going in. But I have to see it for myself. I'm not one of those people that, look, it said on Yelp or Rotten Tomatoes that it was garbage, so I'm not going to see it. No, I'm not that kind of person. I'm going to go see the shit based on me. If I wanted to see it or if I didn't want to see it. That's what I'm going to go do it for. So even telling Dr. Anwar yesterday, or Sunday, he was excited. He wanted to talk about it. I hadn't watched it. Couldn't talk about it. I say this shit now, Dr. Anwar. We can talk about it, but I'll only do that because you got to me early. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about this shit again. I will not talk about this on my own unprompted again. Ever. I'm not. I want to forget I saw this shit. I really do. It was a nothing burger for me. So if you ask me to have a conversation with you about it, I will. Otherwise, I'm trying to blank this from my mind like I had a head injury. I really am. I don't want to think about this movie again. I really don't. It's going to fuck up my whole cool vibe. It is. It's not going to make me a mellow person. Yeah. So, in Detroit, yes. That's what the good news is, Detroit. And this is why, Detroit, I even went to go see this tonight. I wasn't rushing to go see this movie. The only reason I went to see this movie tonight is because I had time, and I know Thursday John Wick 4 is going to be out, and I don't want to have to do 2 reviews at the same time. I'm not going to have the time to go see 2 movies back to back. I want my time with John Wick. I've been waiting for number 4 to come out. I'm a fan of the John Wick series since the first one, and just been enjoying my trip every movie to them expanding more and more on this world and seeing what this world is like. I'm going to see that shit. I'm hoping to enjoy the fuck out of it. And that's why I went tonight to go see the Shazam, to get it off my plate, get it off my list, off the tab, scratch through. We done with this one. Let's get to enjoying John Wick and not be thinking about I got this piece of shit to watch too. That's why. That's exactly why I did it. It's Tuesday, cool. Thursday night, I want to see John Wick. So this was a waste of time and a waste of money. Zachary Levi's performance as Billy Batson in a man's body is stupid. And this one, it's stupid. Because most of the time, it's just him. He's not interacting a lot. In the first one, you had Freddie there, so Freddie got to be more goofy and stuff, interacting with this guy who's grown. Freddie was the standout in this one. It was more his movie than anybody else's movie because he was doing most of the fucking acting in the shit. Having emotions, showing his strength, showing his heart, even without his powers. That was all shit that was supposed to be Billy Batson's thing to do. But that's not what you were getting. You were getting it out of his friend Freddie, who was depowered a lot of the movie. Oh well. Can't have it all, I guess. You say, me too. I seen that movie on my day off, but I'm disappointed. Yeah, you and me both, Detroit. You and me both. I'm disappointed because I really liked the first one. The first one was fun. It was a breath of fresh air at DC. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. This was not fun. This was not entertaining. This was like somebody decided to give you what they thought you wanted, which was every fucking child trope thrown into one movie, wrapped in a bunch of stolen scenes from other movies, which means you didn't actually write a script. You just saw stuff you liked and decided to pull that from here and there and everywhere and boggle it together in one piece of shit. That's the same thing Kathleen Kennedy does all the time. You don't believe me? Let's wait to see what this dead on delivery Indiana Jones is going to do. See how many scenes you can pick out of that you've seen in other fucking movies. Because that's all she does. She doesn't know how to do her own movies. Because she can't make. People can't write. These people cannot write. And I don't know why. I don't know why. You have a whole profession in Hollywood for writing movies, and you wrote this piece of shit. Tasting the rainbow was what I was doing when I got to see a little fat Asian kid sitting on a couch with his mother, pretending that he likes baseball, but he's looking at half naked men in a magazine sitting next to her. That was tasting the rainbow. The unicorn shit. Yeah, I actually know that Gatorade gave you money because you mentioned it. That was one of the lines in the movie too. What is Gatorade? Why the hell did you say that? Product placement. Skittles gave you money. Gatorade gave you money. Um, who else was in there that they named by name? Like, fuck. Just bored. Just bored and terrible. But that's it. That is my review of Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods. I do not recommend you go see this movie. I wouldn't recommend you watch it when it comes to streaming. Like, if you have nothing else to do, I mean, like, if you're going to clean your toilet or change the motor on your car or something like that, and you just want some background noise, turn it on in the background when it comes to streaming. That's about as much good as it can do. Or You can put it on the screen if you sell TVs and just let it play, because then nobody has to listen to it. They're just looking at the pixels on the screen and seeing how good the resolution is. That's about it. Other than that, there's nothing redeeming in this shit. Nothing. I saw one scene that looked cool. One out of 2 hours, I saw one scene that looked cool, and it was at the end of the goddamn movie. And you barely saw the lead actor. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it. I felt nothing for anything that was happening on the screen, except for being fucking just gobsmacked by the amount of cringe lines and dialogue in this shit. So, James Gunn, you got your work cut out for you, homie. You got your work cut the fuck out for you. Thank God you rebooting this. It needs a reboot. It needs a reboot like, what was that drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket? It needs that kind of reboot. Choke yourself. Choke yourself. Don't touch my hand. Lean into it. That's what they need. They need an R. Lee Ermey reboot in their ass. Because this was like, fucking hell, dude. Why? Why? Squandered fucking potential. That's what they can call the DCEU for the 10 years or so that they've been doing these movies. Squandered fucking potential. Squandered potential. I don't feel bad for James Gunn, not James Gunn, but Henry Cavill being out of the shit now. I don't feel bad for Ben Affleck not wanting to come back. I don't feel bad for none of them except The Rock because he put in 10 years of work to get one movie made. I don't feel bad for none of them for not being a part of it. They actually saving you some trouble. They're actually saving you some trouble. Fucking hell. Anyway. Yeah, fat Asian kid looking at half naked men. Yeah. Because he came out as gay and everybody knew it. Oh, we always knew you were gay. Fucking how? Because he was a big roly poly? Whatever. Anyway, that's it. I'm getting out of here. I got 30 minutes. I'm going to watch The Mandalorian. If y'all want to see it, I will drop the link for the watch. It's closed stream. So you can come in, you can watch the shit with me, and then hear me do the review before I put it up on YouTube. But that's what's going to happen next. I need to make me some tea, calm my nerves, get relaxed, get out these work clothes, and get ready for hopefully something I can enjoy and go to bed on a good note and not go to bed with a bunch of frustration and a damn headache. Because I don't want that at all. So, thank you guys for coming through. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. $ artisanmc or PayPal artisanmc as well. And I will see you guys next time, not talking about this shit. Peace. Save yourself.